Game over. Always a sign of temporary setbacks. But some games and developers know how to have fun, even in these dire circumstances. Sure, a plain old screen telling you that you're dead or that you failed your objective does its job perfectly well, but why not have some fun while doing so? In this feature, we'll be taking a look at 15 games with some of the most creative and fun game over screens. Without further ado, let's begin. Sega Rally Championship. If you remove the audio from this one, it'd pretty much be the most boring, drab, cookie-cutter game over screen of all time. It literally just says game over on a white screen, but it's the audio that makes it so special, because that screen is also accompanied with a weirdly cheerful person singing the very words on display. Why? We don't know. Would we have it any other way? Absolutely not. Metal Gear Solid 3: Snake Eater. Metal Gear Solid Games' game over screens have become the stuff of legend over the years, but one particular screen in Snake Eater takes the cake as the best of the best. Many would say that Ocelot is the single most important character in the Metal Gear franchise, so when you decide to shoot him while he lies unconscious just to see what happens, the game telling you that you've created a time paradox and throwing you into a game over screen comes across as a completely unexpected but totally genius way of getting you to not do so again. Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong Country was by no means an easy game, which means we saw plenty of its game over screens, and the game made sure to make them so that they would motivate you to do better next time. How? By showing you the beaten and defeated Donkey Kong, looking depressed as all hell. What do you do after seeing something like that? You jump right back into the game to right your wrongs, of course. Total Distortion. There are some games that don't really put too much effort into their game over screens, but then there are some that go out of their way to put as much creative energy into those as they do for the rest of the game itself. Total Distortion is one such game. When you die, you get into a game over screen alright, but that screen is also accompanied by a song. Yes, a song. A cheesy, hilariously bad song, complete with proper lyrics and everything, made just for the purpose of celebrating your failure.
Thought you were hot. Guess what? You're not.
You are dead, dead, dead.
You brought your whole adventure to a screeching halt.
You are dead.
Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime's game over screen is dripping with just as much style and atmosphere as the rest of the game is. Rather than simply telling you that you died, it makes you believe it. Samus's EKG beeps a couple of times before flatlining, at which point the display goes all red and Samus's cracked helmet slumps slightly to the side. It's very subtle, but the effect it achieves is incredible. Katamari Damacy. Katamari Damacy is a weird game. It has a weird name, a weird premise, a weird way to execute that premise. It's that weirdness, though, that makes it as stupidly fun as it is. So it's fitting that that weirdness bleeds into its game over screens as well. Every time you fail, you receive what is more or less a talking to from the king of all cosmos, who unleashes the best guilt trip speech imaginable, chiding you on your failures and wondering why you couldn't accomplish such a simple task. Paperboy. A game about delivering newspapers? How much could that do with its game over screens? Well, quite a lot, actually, because this arcade classic made excellent use of its premise everywhere it could. Every run of the game ended with headlines of your exploits as the paper delivery boy, and seeing your achievements, or your failures, splashed across the screen as the biggest headline of the day certainly proved to be enough motivation to do better on your next try. Earthbound. Earthbound's game over screens are strangely engaging and fit in with the rest of the game perfectly, because rather than being simple game over screens, they actually do it with the proper context. Sure, they inform you you'll be starting over where you last saved, which is of course ordinary, but it also makes sure to tell you that your failures must just have been a bad dream. Batman Arkham Asylum. What's worse than dying in a video game? Dying and then being mocked for it by the characters responsible. Batman Arkham Asylum had game over screens doing just that, with Gotham's big baddies, from the Joker to the Scarecrow, all walking forward against a background of black and telling the Caped Crusader how he'd failed in his mission, and how no one could put a stop to their plans anymore. Kirby Superstar. Kirby's Star Allies game over screens seem almost perfectly emblematic of the series as a whole, adorable and fun in the most unaggressive way possible. Linger on the screen for too long, and a sleepy-looking Kirby wearing nighttime clothes gets picked up by the cursor, taken to the moon, and tucked into bed. Styx, Shards of Darkness. Styx is a character that is overflowing with personality, and that personality shines through even during the game over screens. Styx is never pleased with your failures and makes sure to always let you know, from playful teases about telling you where the jump button really is to demanding a cut of the money you make off your best Goblin Deaths compilation video. Styx always has a snarky comment up his sleeve.
Did you stream that? I want a percentage on your best Goblin Death compilation. You know, you should read Infiltration for Dummies. I think you might be the target audience.
Mortal Kombat 4. Mortal Kombat always knows how to go all out with its ridiculousness and over-the-top nature, and Mortal Kombat 4 did that with its game over screens as well. As if its brutal fatalities and fatal brutalities weren't enough, every time you died, your character was also shown falling down what looked like a well with no bottom, constantly falling ever downward, frantically flailing their arms and legs manically. Truly, there is no worse fate. Conker's Bad Fur Day. Conker's Bad Fur Day's irreverence is an aspect that defines the entire experience, and that element is on full display in the game's game over screens as well. They're as varied as they are hilarious, from scenes of humiliation for Conker to just funny throwbacks to characters in the game. Clearly, the developers had a lot of fun making these. Doom. Doom is a series that always knows how to have fun with stuff, and Doom 2016 does so with its game over screens as well. Walking into a pit of lava has exactly the result you'd expect. Doom Guy gets burnt to a crisp, but as he sinks into a pool of lava, he gives a final thumbs up, calling back to Arnold Schwarzenegger's famous scene in Terminator 2. Clock Tower. From drowning to your death in front of your friend while you beg to be saved, to being found hanging lifeless in your shower, from falling through a stained glass window to having your corpse stuff in a suit of armor, Clock Tower had some very creative ways of telling you how you died. They were so much fun to watch that they almost made you want to fail. Almost. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, please hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to switch on the notifications bell icon next to it. That way you'll never miss any of our videos. Thanks for watching.